Plaintiff Eric Gonzalez says the defendant is his sister. And when he came out as a gay man, the defendant was very supportive. However, Eric claims by the age of 15, he was addicted to crystal meth, and he didn't get clean until a year ago. Eric's suing his sister today for unpaid rent. Defendant Erica Gonzalez says Eric always wants to be the center of attention. And when she got pregnant, he tried to get a woman pregnant even though he's openly gay. Erica's countersuing her brother for 2 unpaid loans and emotional distress.
Start with you.
It's good to be here. Nice to meet you. But it's a shame that I'm here suing my sister. I would rather sue somebody else I'm not related to, because it'd be a little more comfortable. But when I was growing up, my sister was really supportive of me. I grew up and I found out that I was gay. And when I was open about that, she was always the one that stuck up for me if anybody ever
When did you
gave me
become open
problems
about
for
it?
that.
How old?
14 or 15.
How did your parents react?
My parents, they were okay with it. They were just a little bit surprised, I guess, but they were okay.
Good.
It was just mostly like if, outsiders gave me problems and stuff, she was always there to defend me. And so, I'm not here to say that she was a bad person or anything.
Good. I'm glad to hear that your family was supportive.
Yeah.
My next to the oldest brother, God bless his soul, Steve, was gay.
Great guy.
And when we knew it as early as adolescence. My mother knew before that. She found a letter he had written to a kid. He was 7 years old. And we used to protect him, around public housing development we grew up in. Sometimes some folks would say a little off the cuff stuff. And so my other brothers, and I'll be honest, me too, we used to jump on whoever says something about him. Say something about our brother, we jumping on him.
Right.
We don't care if he's gay, and you better not care. And if you do, you better keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And during that time, when Erica was growing up, she partied as a teen. I mean, I guess it's normal to party as a teen, but she was kind of like a hard partier.
Excessive, huh?
She had to spend 4 months in jail for a DUI, and I'm not judging her for anything. I'm just giving you a little bit of background for that. She was in a coma for 13 days shortly before she went into jail. She graduated medical school. She was going to be a medical assistant, and someone poured liquid methadone into an alcoholic drink, and she fell asleep and didn't wake up. She was in a coma for 13 days. And I went on GoFundMe.com and raised $900, and I was with her the next day by her bedside when she was in a coma. That was really hard.
How many days?
Huh?
How many days?
13.
13 she was in the coma?
She had to learn to walk, to talk,
That true?
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah. She even, has a trachea scar and everything, and I just felt so bad, but I was so glad that I could be with her the next day, and that it was a miracle that I was able to raise that money so fast. I admit during that time that I was there and she was in a coma, I didn't know how to handle it, and me being a drug addict already, maybe I was drinking or doing other things, because I'm from Arizona. I knew people there. So I'd have people picking me up and stuff because I just couldn't look at it.
How long ago was that?
2012.
Okay. Were you a recovering addict at that time?
No, I was an active addict at that time.
What about now? Have you been in
I've been
recovery?
clean a year and 2 months.
Good. Congratulations. Good. Please not switched over to focus on that so that other people would know, because you don't appear to be a drug addict. And some folks say, well, how do drug addicts look? I just know. They look like 1,000 others that I've seen.
You know when someone's a crackhead.
I know when they're crackhead. You're right.
I've
seen 1,000.
I started smoking weed at 13. It kind of escalated from there, kind of started doing a little bit of pills. But by 15, I was with a group of friends, and I got hooked on meth at 15. And I was on meth all the way up until a year ago. Okay,
let me allow her to give some background.
Well, growing up, Eric has always wanted to be the center of attention, obviously. When I was pregnant with my first child, he tried to get a woman pregnant, even though he's openly gay. So he just wanted to be in the center of attention, even though it was supposed to be my time.
I don't believe that. Is that true?
Yeah.
It's true.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
So thankfully that didn't happen, though, because who knows how that would have turned out.
You're having a baby, so I'm going to have a baby. You ain't the only one that can have a baby around here. You ain't going to get all the attention.
True, yeah.
You and your baby ain't going to get all the attention. I want some of this attention. Go ahead.
All right, so thankfully that didn't happen, and then up until like when he was 15, he kind of got kicked out of my parents' house. He was living out. He said he was behind a Sonic one day, so I went out.
It was what?
Living behind a Sonic, like the restaurant. And so I went to find an apartment and let him live with me. I didn't want him living on the streets, even if he was on drugs or anything. I couldn't let him do that. So I let him live with me. He never paid me anything. I never asked him to, really.
When was that? What year?
That was a long time ago, like
Okay.
2008. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
08 or so?
Yeah.
Other than
then-
that, you all have had a good relationship?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me allow him to get to the rent he's suing for.
She got into an argument with her baby's father, and he pretty much kicked them both out. So I agreed to let her and her 4-year-old son come live with me. So whenever they moved in, it wasn't comfortable. It was only a 1-bedroom apartment. The bathroom was in my room, so she would come in there getting ready for work and have techno music blasting on her phone. I'm like laying there trying to sleep, and her baby would come in there and wake us up making Superman noises and playing toys and everything else. So, and every month I was telling her, I need you to pay $500 rent because, like, we need to get help.
She agreed to?
Yes.
Why would I agree to $500 rent when your whole rent was only like $515 in total?
There was, I know, but we had.
How much was your rent?
It was $500, but we had. We had several
You were
hundred.
still getting high then,
No, it
so
was-
we understand.
No, it was her and her son, and we had several other $100 worth of bills. So I thought that was fair because we
sleeping on
had
the floor
almost.
in the
What
living
other
room.
several?
We had utilities, we had like internet, we had cable, that's why I
even have a
charged her
TV.
$500.
Okay, that all those bills added up to 500, the other bills?
The 500 was the rent, and the other was like $450, $400.
Okay, so she still paid more than
But
you.
it was because she brought her and her son,
They have 2
And it was a
bedrooms?
1-bedroom.
We slept on the floor
And they
in the
slept
living
where?
room.
In the living room.
You should have
air
been in the
mattress.
living room and them in the bedroom because they were paying more than you.
My name was on the lease, so
So you charged them more. The sister that has helped you all your life, defended you all your life.
I wasn't
You're
trying
gonna
to
charge
hurt her,
her
but
more.
it was a big inconvenience because I was working. I was a supervisor managing the front end of a Walmart, and I had to be up 6 a.m. sometimes, and sometimes it was.
How long did you expect for her to live there?
I was going to let her live there until she found a place of her own. I was going to let her stay there.
You had no idea when that might be?
No,
You all never discussed a time frame.
no, I just let her move in because I didn't know how long I was going to live there.
So, okay, you didn't know how long you were going to be inconvenienced. That means you didn't care. That means it wasn't a big deal to you.
Even after I kicked her out 3 months later because
Not
every
there
month
yet.
I asked for money, and I even signed my name to get her
I was
an
just
apartment.
sticking with this inconvenience you keep saying they were, and yet you didn't even discuss how long she was going to be there. So it couldn't have been that
discussed
much
the
of
price.
an inconvenience. You didn't even ask her how long.
I discussed the rent, but I didn't discuss.
I understand that. We got you want your rent. What months?
May, June, and July.
And when you've asked her for it, what has she said?
She told me that she wasn't going to pay, that she was saving up to get
She
her
ever
own place.
acknowledged owing you?
She acknowledged owing me. She
All right,
told me
ma'am,
that was
let me
the
hear from
agreement
you.
To pay.
First, it was my son's dad's parents' house, and I moved out on my own. He didn't kick me out or anything. He said I could stay with him. I knew he didn't have another room. I knew I was going to be staying on the floor. I didn't plan on staying there for that long. I was just trying to save money to get my own place.
You all never even discussed
Never
how
discussed
long.
it. I told him I'd help out with what I could. Like, I helped out with groceries. I bought groceries every week for them, for him and his boyfriend.
What was the agreement on that?
I just told him when I moved in.
Was there an agreement on it?
No.
All right, so that's irrelevant.
Yes.
Let's talk about the rent.
He never told me I owed him rent because
There
I
was
would
never an
told her
agreement,
every
or
month.
rent
Never
was
an
never
agreement.
discussed.
Never discussed.
And you stayed there
Lie.
3 months,
I stayed there for maybe like a month and a half.
and he never asked you for anything?
No, I told him I'd help out
Okay,
with
I'll just
what I-
ask you. You said
Yeah.
no. He never asked you for rent.
No.
All right, good enough.
lie,
And this is
Your
the
Honor.
first time you're hearing it?
Yes. I told him I'd help
Today
out.
is the first time you're hearing
Well, not
that he-
today,
that's
like
what I'm
recently,
asking.
yes.
When?
Within the last few days when I got a call. from
Last
the
few
show.
days when you got a call from us
Yeah.
to see if you wanted to bring your lawsuit here is the first time that he said you owed him rent.
Yes.
All
Your
right.
Honor, that's a lie, and I have a statement
Let's
from
see
my
it.
mom.
I don't believe you wouldn't ask for your money.
I have tried several different avenues, and I didn't have money to file a lawsuit. I was bad off.
I am the mother of Erica and Eric. I was aware of Erica staying with Eric for a few months. And from what I recall, Eric was charging her $500 a month. But I wasn't aware of her paying him or not. I do have to mention that I was also aware of Erica helping out her brother at times by bringing him groceries and also helping him get his guitar out of pawn. I can't say for certain who paid who back or who didn't pay because I had moved out of Arizona. It sounds like your mother's being very honest here. So let's get to the loans and emotional distress you're countersuing for.
So when he was on drugs, he would always play music, like for his therapy to get off of it and everything, but he kept pawning his guitar. Like every other week I saw him, he would have pawned his guitar. So one time it was in the pawn shop for a while, and I told him I'd get it out for him if he could pay me back, and he agreed. And that was the $759. The next time was last June when I was bringing him groceries to the house he was living in, and I saw a bunch of marks on his arms. So I just started crying, and I was just like, I need to get you out of here. So we agreed that if I got him a plane ticket to send him to my mom to get clean, then he would eventually pay me back once he got paid from the job he was starting.
And what is the emotional distress he caused you?
Well, my first pregnancy, I pretty much dealt with him the whole time from the beginning. Like when I said he was trying to get someone pregnant, from the very beginning till the end when he showed up when I was giving
What
birth.
did he do to you that hurt you?
He showed up to late when I was in labor on meth and heroin when I was giving birth.
Him being high hurt you?
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
And so you want money from him.
About him.
You want money from him because he came around you high. That's what you're saying.
What's supposed to be like the
All
most
right, so
beautiful
everything
part of
you're
my life.
saying is unreasonable. You do know that. What do you want to tell me? What you want to admit to over here?
I just wanted to say that I thought those were gifts for me because,
That was like
All right, anybody have evidence that they were or were not gifts?
because
I have evidence.
You have
text
something that
messages
says they weren't gifts?
showing that he owes me money of him and I talking.
Plaintiff, I told you I'd pay if I had the money, Erica. You act like I'm swimming in cash. Defendant, the plane ticket you said you for sure pay me. So that's a bunch of BS. You know that.
If anything, I will admit to, I will say I owe
You have
for
any?
the plane ticket
So
because
I'll go with the loan because I see evidence here for both the plane ticket and the guitar. So I'll grant you that judgment. I'm not going to grant you anything for him being high. And I'll grant you the judgment because I believe your mother. Judgment for the plaintiff and counterclaimant as well.
I care about my sister. I didn't want to have to do this. It really broke my heart. I didn't want to have to do it, so I hope that we can repair it, and I hope that she would want the same thing. I know it might take time, but I hope that one day.
I think we live
it
in
could be
other
fair.
states then.